Thank you very much, colleagues. Let me start here and thank Professor Maharajh for that moving speech. A lot of facts indeed that you poured here for everybody to digest. When I was young, and I mean very young, my grandmother treated a lot of ailments, from a running tummy to headaches. And there was one particular where, I don't know the English name for this one, where your pupil, your eye pupil turns white. I do not know if you are familiar with that disease. I don't see it often these days. And she knew how to treat this. But I can say majority of villagers knew how to treat minor ailments. Not only minor, by the way, they knew how to treat ailments. And that knowledge is all eradicated. It has vanished. Professor Maharaj's speech is indeed pitched at the macro of the macro international. And you did a fantastic job telling us about investment at that particular level, or disinvestment. I would like us to talk a little bit about investment at the macro South African level, especially in eye cares, because there is a lot that we have already lost. The collection of indigenous seeds and the introduction of the GMOs, I see no single granary as I move across the breadth and width of our villages. We do not have seeds anymore. They are gone. We've got to go to the shops to buy seeds. When I was young, every family had a granary, and they would make sure after every harvest there is something left behind for next season. There were traditional breweries at small scale, miniature breweries producing even spirits. In our village, Professor Mashau will remember, we had production of what we called totot. These are local spirits, no influence from outsiders, no European influences. But that has vanished. In actual fact, the apartheid government unleashed mercenaries to chase those individuals away and to lock those who were producing those competitive spirits. Today, those spirits would be competing in New York, in Canada, everywhere else. But that has ceased to exist. I've spoken about medicines, I've spoken about traditional breweries, and I've spoken about GMO, the production of our food, which I think is very important. So I say to the Department of Science and Technology that our journey ahead is long, and it has been winding over the years, and we move in circles, mostly talking rhetoric about what should be done, could be done, should have been done. And I say it is important that we talk substance about putting funds on the table to invest in indigenous small business development, so that those startups that are investing in indigenous knowledge are funded to the hilt, better than any other, because this knowledge doesn't exist in the US, in Turkey, or anywhere else, except here in South Africa. Univen, in my conclusion, Univen has got a bachelor in IKS. So we produce master and doctoral students in IKS. There are numerous IKS projects currently ongoing, and we've been trying to organize ourselves of late so that we can account for each and every project that is taking place there at the University of Venda. But importantly, we want to make sure that we support these projects. I would be extremely excited. We are about to acquire almost 200 hectares of land from a traditional leader. I will be extremely excited to see everything indigenous in that particular farm, so that the traditional herbs, the traditional medicine, the traditional trees that we rely on for our medicines are planted in mass in that particular farm. The indigenous goats, the indigenous farming generally should happen in that particular farm, so that next time when you come from China and everywhere else and you want to partner in anything indigeneity, you should be thinking the University of Venda. And this is our promise. Thank you.